Okay, as a sexologist.
Yes.
Like, is it more couple issues or do people come to you individually?
It's mostly couple issues.
And what are some of the common things that people are asking you about?
Some of the common things, sex drive is a big one. Like the caller that we just had is huge. You know, it really, especially if you've been in a relationship with someone for, I would say anywhere from 5 to 20 to 30 years, you know, sex drive becomes an issue. And then 2, I get a lot of people who maybe want to have orgasms during penetration and have only been able to have them during oral.
Right.
You know, those are usually the younger couples. I get a lot of, you know, miscommunication issues, you know, like I want this and my partner doesn't want to do it. Can you convince them to do it? You know, those types of things.
And what do you advise on that?
Well, you know, you do have to meet somewhere in the middle, but if it's totally against your religious, your moral, and your cultural beliefs, it's really hard for me or anyone else to try to convince you that you should do it. So, for instance, you know, in our community, you know, and it hopefully it's changing a little bit now, but traditionally oral and anal have been things that have been a little off the cuff.
That's not it.
Yeah, yes. Oral is kind of more so something you do for birthdays. Anal is something you see in the movies. So now that people are having more exposure to it, you know, everybody wants it. But then you have these two people where one wants it and the other's like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So trying to get them to meet in the middle and understanding that when you love somebody and you're committed and it's healthy, that nothing should be off limits, you know, and there's
All right, we're going to have more coming up.
All right.
Especially for those of you, you know, who practice the dolphin when people try to do something to you. They call that the dolphin.
That's
you
a
can
dolphin.
use that on the show. Yeah.
I like that.
When you try to do anal. Got more with Dr. Rachael coming up here in a second. All right, after cam going on right now with Dr. Rachael from the doctors. I'm going to ask you, because we got some married guys in here, a married man question.
All right.
Why is it that men feel like we're always further down on the totem pole when it comes to getting relations? You know, because I know, especially when you have kids involved, and you have, you know, the date, right, Rob? You got the day-to-day stuff, and we know we try to be accommodating. We understand things are going on, but we all want more.
Yeah,
Don't we, Rob?
Yeah, more.
Okay, that's what
more is good. Yeah, more. No, you're not alone, brother. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I find that the issue tends to be that one person in the relationship, and stereotypically it's the woman, but sometimes it's actually the guy, just doesn't understand how important sex is to the partner. Because, like, if you have a person who you met and you've fallen in love with and you two have committed to each other, and this person was kind of a sexual being when you met, that never really changes. And in order to help keep your man or your woman in some cases propped up emotionally and physically, you really should, whether you think about it or not, try to fit sex into the repertoire. And I think for a lot of women, you know, our sex drive doesn't start until you guys touch us or kiss us and until our brain has decided we want to have sex.
Exactly.
And so because of that, it's a little different. Whereas your sex drive, you know, you might be sitting at work thinking about sex, driving down the street thinking about sex, in the bathroom thinking about sex. So what ends up happening is you've got one person who's always thinking about it and the other one who could care less whether they get it or not. So what happens is you have to meet in the middle and understand that sex is as important as food and water to some people.
Right.
And that if you're not giving it to your partner, then they start to feel choked out. They start to feel not appreciated. And not only that, but they get irritable around the house. They're not they're not doing the stuff they're supposed to because it's a retaliation. It's like, okay, you haven't given me any in 2 weeks, and so I'm just going to be a jerk about everything. And it's
can
subtle.
You explain maybe to Ryan, you know, and most men that, and Rob, that foreplay is so important for women.
Yes.
And it starts at work with texting.
Yes.
You know, it could be anything. And I think men don't understand, like, just jumping in the bed and let's do it doesn't mean anything to us. It's the foreplay that means everything.
You're so right, Wanda. Not only that, but if you do it like that, if you just jump in and you, before you've gotten her moist and you've gotten her turned on, if you just penetrate, then what ends up happening is now she's in a situation where she's mad, so the next time she's less likely to do it. So you've got to spend time and make sure that each time it's done right so that she doesn't start to avoid it.
Yeah, well, foreplay is big. I mean...
I mean, most men...
But what do you think foreplay is, though? Not just... foreplay could be anything.
Yeah, but I think a lot of times you put us in a category where we don't know. I mean, we've been married a long time, and I think that we love our wives and we want to be intimate, but I think that the trappings of life sometimes happen. So I guess my next question is, should it be like how we have appointments and lunches and places to appear? Do you schedule it?
Well, mentally, the person who has the lower sex drive does need to mentally schedule it so that it is something that's happening regularly.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Rachael.
Yes, it's my
For
pleasure.
our after cam and your intimacy talks.
Yes,
Now, you
my
got a
pleasure.
boyfriend?
Yeah, well, I've been in a committed relationship for about 2 years,
Okay.
so I'm not engaged or anything, but I'm pretty much taken
You
off
good?
the market. Yes.
All right, now making sure. Now you can't be giving advice that you ain't doing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
All right.
alrighty then.
Bye.
All right, girl. Good
All
luck,
right,
girl.
thank you.
I'm
Don't
sorry.
forget to check me out on the doctors every day. So.
And Cameron X-rated in the morning.
That's after cam, sir.